I think it's safe to say I played the guitar, and I have been for more than half of my life. If you've ever wanted to get into learning to play the guitar, but you don't know where to start, then here you are. A guide and pathway to learning the guitar, electric, or acoustic. Today, I'm going to be putting it simply to you. If you want a summary of this video, follow whatever you love the most. That way you'll be excited to play, and that contributes so much when it comes to playing and learning the guitar. If you're not having fun, it's natural to think that there's no point, especially when you're a beginner just starting out. So, follow your heart and have fun. Follow and be inspired by the musicians you love, learn the songs you love listening to, and everything will fall into place from there. But let's get into proper brass tacks now. So, where do you start? Acoustic? Electric, classical, banjo, sitar, erhu, or the oud. There are benefits and downsides to both, as with everything. And to be honest, you can really start with either and be completely fine. There is no right way to get into learning the guitar, and to be honest, there is no right way to get into really any hobby or activity. You are free to do whatever in life you want. We all have the freedom of choice, and I can't nor do I want to stop you from getting into guitar a different way than either I did or most people do. That way, you'll have cool-ass, personal-ass anecdotes to share in interviews when in the future you've made it big and every night you're up on stage in front of 30,000 people. Maybe every night you're performing in local bars on 9 past blue ribbons and you're shoving drumsticks up your ass while you're performing. Hey man, look, I don't judge. And Mac DeMarco is a cool guy regardless of that incident. Jokes aside, there's a commonality amongst starting guitarists, particularly those who are teenagers or younger than 18, to start playing acoustic. I started with acoustic myself. There's a number of reasons why, and they're all completely valid reasons. As a teenager, I want to guess that either your parents are buying your first guitar for you, or you've been saving up for a long time to buy one yourself with your own money. With an acoustic or classical guitar, you don't need additional paraphernalia like instrument cables, an amp, and a power cord, meaning that generally acoustic guitar can be cheaper than what's required for learning and playing the electric guitar. And you'll get more bang for your buck that way within the same budget. For example, if you have a budget of $500, with an electric guitar setup, you have to distribute those $500 to a guitar, an amp, and a cable, and maybe some other accessories. But if your budget is $500 and you're picking out an acoustic guitar, all you need to get pretty much is just an acoustic guitar. $500. That's it. Because there's also less paraphernalia, you can practice anywhere. You can bring your guitar on road trips or maybe to the park and maybe checking it in when you're on vacation overseas if you're confident and brave enough that it'll survive the plane ride. Thanks, TSA. That means there's potential for you to get better at guitar because you're spending more time learning and playing it as opposed to an electric. Acoustic can also seem less intimidating with how simple it is compared to electric, which can be quite important for any beginner starting out in any hobby. And really anything, to be honest, if there is a large looming suggestion of commitment, one that is larger than we think we're up for, that can definitely be overwhelming, and people can give up and move on. With an electric guitar setup, with the amp and all the other accessories that I talked about earlier, some beginners might feel that sort of pressure. But there are also some reasons why starting with electric is just as valid. If you're not really into strumming chords by the campfire or playing a little bit of James Taylor or John Denver or singer-songwriter stuff and you're more into sort of rock, blues, metal, and similar genres, then I can definitely understand why you would be hesitant starting with acoustic. And that's completely fine. You can start out on electric as a beginner. What? If you want to play more of those genres, you'll definitely be more motivated learning the guitar starting on electric. One of the biggest highlights for the electric guitar for me over acoustic is that you can experiment with so many different sounds on it, which is really fun. You can honestly sound much better than you actually are on guitar, and I'm a little bit guilty of that. Electric guitars in general are easier to play than acoustic because of mainly two reasons. For one, the strings are closer to the actual fretboard and neck, meaning that you don't have to press as hard in order to bring out notes. And secondly, generally electric guitar strings are thinner. It also contributes to you not pressing as hard on the strings less effort, yada yada yada, so on. Same principles. You also don't have to strum or pick as hard because, well, you have an amp. Your guitar is amplified. It's electric. You can crank it and be heard even if you caressed or breathed on the strings. So there's a chance that your learning rate could accelerate compared to you starting on acoustic. You might spend less time trying to get strings and notes to ring out, and more time spent learning songs or chords. Ultimately, as I said earlier, go with your heart and honestly follow what music you love listening to the most. That being said, of course you can play electric-based genres and songs on acoustic guitar, and you can play acoustic-based genres on electric. You can play your Metallica songs, Megadeth songs, Hendrix songs, or Weezer songs on acoustic, and you can also play your singer-songwriter stuff on electric guitar. Whatever inspires you to play the most at the end of the day is the best option. Don't let anybody else, including me, stop you from really starting out any way you want, because you'll be way less inclined to play if you're not excited about it. Follow and be inspired by your favorite bands and musicians. Like, what do they use? What kind of gear do they use? Do they use acoustic guitar? Do they use electric guitar? Do they use a baritone guitar? Do they use the Erhu? Speaking of your favorite bands and musicians, let's move on to actually learning the guitar. Again, the best way to learn guitar is learn what you love. Learn songs that you just love listening to. It's literally just as simple as that. If you don't already play other instruments and you don't know music theory, don't worry about it. Don't worry about scales or keys or odd time signatures for now. Just have fun learning how to play your favorite songs on the guitar, and everything will come during and after supernaturally. Like, for me, I started out learning songs from K-On! And also songs by Weezer, and eventually Mac DeMarco and the Beatles, because that was what I was really into at the time. I learned that there's a really big emphasis on rhythm with the music of the Beatles and Mac DeMarco, especially the Beatles. John Lennon was one of the greatest rhythm guitarists of all time. I think as I got more into the Beatles and John's solo music, his rhythm guitar sensibilities really became ingrained into my musical and guitarist mindset. Learning Mac DeMarco's music only acted as a catalyst for this, because the chords he uses are quite intimidating and complex for a beginner, and it definitely was. He uses a lot of major 7ths, add 9s, flat 13s. It was a lot, to say the least. But no matter how hard or impossible something seems, if a human wrote something, if a human did something, then you can definitely do the same with enough effort and dedication. Almost nothing is impossible if you try hard enough, I think. So I stuck with it because I loved his music. I still do. And it really didn't feel like any work whatsoever. I learned a lot of chords, jazzy and indie sounding chords, and that, along with the strumming and picking patterns and melodic voicing of John Lennon, I was able to get pretty good at rhythm guitar quite quickly. This was only possible because I was so invested. I was so excited to learn these songs I really loved listening to. If I started with learning scales or guitar-based music theory from the start, I really don't think I would have been interested. Because how could I have been invested in something I had seemingly no personal connection with? On top of this, just going back to general tips, I'd also recommend learning and playing the full song of whatever you're learning, rather than just the main recognizable part of the song, which we guitarists call a riff. You might have heard this. You'll learn not just chords, but also song structure and chord sequences over time as you continue your guitar journey, and as a musician, I can't state the importance of learning both enough. Plus, it's cooler knowing how to play a full song rather than just the main bit if other people ask you to play it in the future for them. Hopefully, not at a house party, God forbid. Jokes aside, I think playing the guitar anywhere is fun. Just kill the part of you that cringes, not the part that is cringe. Play at a party if you want to. Like, who gives two shits? You can learn songs by simply Googling whatever song you want to learn, followed by chords or tab. Like, for example, if I wanted to learn Redbone by Childish Gambino on the guitar, I can just search up Redbone, Childish Gambino, chords, or Redbone, Childish Gambino, tab, as you see here. A chord is 2 or more notes played together, and this forms basically the backbone of every song you listen to. There are a lot of sheets that show finger positioning for chords online, and there are so many YouTube videos out there as well. A tab is basically simplified sheet music for a guitar. This is an example of it, just going back to Redbone, for example. The numbers that you see here indicates what fret you should be fingering on which particular string. If you're confused with either how to read tabs or how to play chords, or if you're confused anytime while you're learning a song, again, YouTube, Google. We are so blessed with information in this day and age. there's guaranteed a video out there showing you how to play whatever song you want to learn. I bet you my fucking left ass cheek and $2 that, I swear to God. Almost everything is out there for you as help. There are so many resources that are so helpful and rich in information. Learning songs can also give you a sense of completion and definitive clear steps in your progression when learning guitar. You can say, I've learned one whole song, I think it's time to learn another one. And did I already say that this will feel like a fucking breeze and it won't feel like you're putting in any effort because you're learning songs you love rather than standalone, isolated, boring music theory that means nothing to you? How good! So, what's next after that? Eventually, you'll want to commit more to the instrument and get invested into learning the actual music theory behind the songs you've been learning so you can be even better. I still think learning full songs is the best method for learning guitar even at this stage. Excuse me. I just had lunch. But you could also get into finger exercises. The most famous one is the spider walk exercise. This helps build speed and accuracy. As you saw just now, even though I've been playing guitar a long time, it's very clear that I need to do this exercise more. You suck! Practice always makes perfect, no matter how long and how often you've been playing. YouTube videos on breaking down the guitar part or parts in a song you're learning is a great way to understand and also practice music theory in a situation or context you're familiar with and love. Videos that go, how does this guy play this part exactly? Again, anything to make you learn faster and whatever feels like the most fun for you is key. Use the music you listen to as a guide as well. For example, if you get into a new artist or genre of music, why not try learning a song or two from them if you're up for it? You'll learn new songs and new techniques, and you'll also become a more diverse guitarist and musician. Like I said in my Radiohead guide, bet you'll also be able to appreciate that music so much more as well, just when you're casually listening to it outside of playing guitar. And speaking of Radiohead, as I said in my guide video, they are the musicians. You should go watch that video if you haven't already, and subscribe for more videos like this one and my 2 previous guides. When I came across them and started learning their songs, and not just the guitar, but also other instruments that I play, my musical skills across all of them increased dramatically. I loved the music immensely, and I loved playing the guitar a lot at that point. So learning how to play their music was just a natural step for me to take. I would also recommend trying to play, or jam with other guitarists or musicians. Maybe your friends, for example, if they play any instruments. Maybe form a band together and set up a day and time to meet regularly. I think you'll not only get better at the guitar, but your musical intuition and synergy will honestly improve so much. Altogether, your bandmates and you will improve a lot more than if you were to just practice on your own. Being able to share it with others and collaborating and connecting together with this sort of unspoken, beautiful, emotional language. It's the biggest appeal of playing music for me. Well, after all that, what now? If you're at this point now, then welcome to where I am. If you're at this point now, you're pretty much in the same place as me. There are many branches you can go from here, but essentially there's no ceiling to guitar or any instrument, to be honest. That's the beautiful thing about learning a musical instrument. You always have the option to get better and learn something new all the time if you're up for it. Guitar is a perfect, imperfect instrument, and you're able to express so much through it. And if you're happy with where you're at as a guitar player, then that's fine too. That's great. Having fun is the most important part of playing music in general, regardless of the instrument, and I'm glad that you're having fun. Having fun is the most important part of playing music. So that was a guide to learning the guitar and a bit of backstory on how I got into guitar myself. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This guide, I know, was a little bit different from my 2 previous videos, but I really enjoyed writing and making it, to be honest with you. These birds just fuck off. Thank you. But I really enjoyed writing and making it, to be honest with you. I usually include how I got into the thing, I talk about personal anecdotes, but I'm doing a bit of an experiment this time. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a separate video where I talk about my musical journey on a more personal and emotional level for 2 reasons. To make this guide a bit more streamlined. Sorry, oh my god, my lunch. And also for me to go into more depth when telling my personal story without worrying about a video being too long or tiring me out. Or you guys out, actually, too. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. Oh, and speaking about burning out, I apologize, but I've shelved the OK Computer review video for now. I talked about why I did some of the posts I made on YouTube recently. You can go read that for more details, but basically the Radiohead video I did, it took a lot out of me. I was just so burnt out after that, and to be honest, I still kind of am. And I want to break from Radiohead for a very good while, mainly because of that. Let me know if you play other instruments, or if you already play the guitar. What's the most difficult song you've ever learned? Is there a song that people think is easy to play on guitar, but is actually quite hard? Is there a song that people think is super hard to play, but is actually quite easy to play? Comment down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to let me know that you enjoyed this video if you did. Make sure to hit the bell icon if you don't want to miss more videos like this one, and my soon-to-be video on my personal emotional journey as a musician. I'm Johnny, and I hope today I was putting it simply to you guys. Cheers and peace out.